Alright, let's talk about Wallace and Gromit. When I was a little kid, I used to have a DVD that had the original trilogy of Wallace and Gromit shorts on it, and I would watch them all the time. I thought they were so funny and charming. I mean, Wallace is both a brilliant inventor, but also simultaneously this ridiculous buffoon. And Gromit is this super expressive dog, always getting his emotions across with just a look, hardly ever even barking. They were such a fun duo to watch go through all kinds of wacky adventures, always having each other's backs and coming up with some kind of new crazy invention to help them out of a scenario. When the pair finally got their first feature film in 2005, I was so excited to walk in and see the beloved duo on the big screen. I really enjoyed Curse of the Were-Rabbit back then, and though I haven't seen it in quite some time, I'd be willing to bet that I would like it more than what I just watched. I hate to use that as the introduction to Vengeance Most Fowl, but unfortunately, it is what it is. Vengeance Most Fowl acts as a sequel to the short film The Wrong Trousers. A story about an evil penguin that comes to stay with Wallace and Gromit and conducts a diamond heist while living under their roof. At the end of that tale, Wallace and Gromit catch the penguin and send him to Arkham Asylum. Just kidding, he ends up in the local zoo. And that's where our sequel picks up. Feathers McGraw has been biding his time in his cell, plotting his revenge on our heroes. When one of Wallace's new inventions goes awry, it gives him the opportunity to hack in and take control. Now armed with an army of super gnomes, Feathers McGraw is on a mission to once again get the blue diamond. And that's kind of my problem with this story. It's basically a rehash of The Wrong Trousers, but extended out to a feature length, with some scary gnomes for good measure. The gnomes are a really unsettling addition, especially once they get turned into evil mode. Their soulless eyes and expressionless smiles are sure to haunt many children's dreams. But just adding some scary gnomes isn't nearly enough to justify a whole feature-length film. I mean, this movie definitely feels like it has some padding. Wallace and Gromit is known for having a lot of visual and physical gags, and there are definitely a couple in this movie that made me laugh, but it feels like they were few and far between for this length. Also, I feel like there was something less clever about this rendition of Wallace and Gromit. For instance, in The Wrong Trousers, when Feathers McGraw goes to scout out the bank, he uses a tape measure to scale the building. It mixes the mundane with the fantastical in a way that's comically satisfying. In contrast to that, in this film, he somehow builds a mechanical arm contraption and uses it to hack a computer. I understand that it's Wallace and Gromit, and they've always called for a high level of suspension of disbelief, but at the same time, I feel like this joke illustrates the problem that I have with this movie. It's the same thing again, just less clever. Like so many other franchises today, it relies on nostalgic throwbacks and jokes, such as the password to Wallace's key files being cheese, followed by a subsequent CAPTCHA puzzle that involves a moon. It feels like we're playing Weekend at Bernie's, just parading their corpses around, pretending as if they are still what they used to be. And that's really unfair, because Wallace and Gromit are great characters, and they exist in an incredibly interesting medium. Aardman Studios and Nick Park have always done a great job of bringing the world of Wallace and Gromit to life, making it feel lived in and real, even if it's all just clay. Claymation has always been incredibly impressive to me, due to the meticulous nature of the craft and the detail that can be employed. I also really like the tangible feeling. There's something about the look that makes it unique within filmmaking. Maybe it's the fact that you can see the literal thumbprints of the filmmakers on screen. Massive models and new puppets should be a highlight of the film, but unfortunately when the story is lacking, it really doesn't come together in any sort of meaningful way. There are a few impressive set pieces here and there that really give you that feeling of a kid playing with toys, but it's just not enough. By employing the use of both physical claymation and digital animation, something is getting lost in translation. If you're a fan of film, I'm sure you've heard the many tired arguments about CGI versus practical effects, but there's a reason why people keep constantly bringing up that debate in instances like this. It really just doesn't look as good when you digitally smooth out a lot of the imperfections, and it takes away a significant amount of charm from the overall product. I think this choice to employ new and old animation styles is indicative of a lot of the issues that I had with this movie. It's been over a decade and a half since we've seen these characters proper, and it seems like Aardman is more concerned with giving them a facelift than an exciting new adventure. The titular duo's one-sided back and forth is just as effective as ever, with Gromit being a particular standout this time around. He does the bulk of the heavy lifting, while Wallace remains blissfully ignorant. There are so many opportunities for more creative and wacky adventures for these two to go on, and I really hope this isn't their swan song. If it is, the best I can say is that it was a cute movie. It was okay, but not much more. Give me some Shaun the Sheep next time, will ya? Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you specifically. Thank you.